Many community members know there has been some movement in social. More specifically, that movement is a position by Aboriginal Affairs, the federal government, to get our communities to adopt provincial welfare rates, rates within the province, rates that individuals, non-natives off reserve would be typically entitled to. Through analysis, through offices like the Mi'kmaq Rights Initiative, what that will result in is significantly lower benefits and services for community members. Some of these would range from people who receive income assistance on behalf of their children. They will no longer receive that on behalf of their children. Rates related to rent, the payment of rent, rates related to heating, all of this spells lower contributions being provided through provincial welfare rates. The band has been quite active in our approach to social. We've had a community meeting. Speaking of social, we had people from the Mi'kmaq Rights Initiative and other sort of experts in the field talk about these new changes. It was also part of our last community meeting in August, where we provided an update on where things are. And certainly we're going to have a social community meeting sometime in October. Once we get clarity on that date, we'll let you know. But I really sincerely hope that all community members, particularly community members who are on social, to participate in this community meeting. The format on which we're going to operate it's sort of like a cafe event. There'll be a number of smaller tables that would have various themes where if you have questions, there will be resource people there. And the whole purpose of this community meeting is to generate any thoughts, ideas, issues, or solutions that you think could help improve, the social programming within our community. The reason why Council is taking an active role in this is because we don't want to just sit back and do nothing. Where things are currently with social and the social case, the Simon case, Jesse Simon as it's known, is we're awaiting leave, a decision on our leave for appeal to the Supreme Court of Canada. It's been roughly 4 months since that leave application has been filed. And they usually provide, their response within a 6-month period. So within the next 2 months, we can foresee a decision from the Supreme Court of Canada on whether they will hear this appeal from a decision from the Federal Court of Appeal. Just a bit of history. We won at the Federal Court trial level. However, we did not win at the Federal Court of Appeal. So the Supreme Court of Canada has the last say on this matter, and we are hopeful that they will agree to hear the appeal on behalf of all the bands within the Atlantic. That being said, there was some movement that existed between the Mi'kmaq Rights Initiative and the federal government. However, since the Federal Court of Appeal judgment, the federal government has left the table. So there are no discussions taking place between Mi'kmaq or Maliseet representatives and the federal government. So given this climate of uncertainty, what Council has decided was that we must forge ahead. This doesn't mean that we are implementing provincial welfare rates. It does not mean that we are following the direction of the federal government through Aboriginal affairs. What this means is that we are undertaking our own process to find out what will work in our community as it relates to social. What will work within our community in terms of generating much needed jobs and programming within our community. We are, beefing up staff within our office. There is an advertisement for a Native Employment Officer that will also serve as a role as a caseworker in social. To work with Alicia. Alicia has been taking a lead role on the social issue as well. And so we're really looking forward to this community meeting in October, and possibly the later part of October. And at this community meeting, we really want, people to share, some of your frustrations as it relates to social. Any sort of solutions or ideas that you think would be good for council to take into account. And because it's essentially the only way we can really come out with something that actually fits our community is it has to be developed by our community. It has to be developed through the participation, from community members, along with leadership and staff to develop solutions that really will work for our community. Too often we have things that are handed down from the federal government, sort of a one-size-fits-all approach to dealing with things, and that hasn't worked. And so what council realizes is the need to come up with a Paqtnkek approach to deal with social issues within our community. And, the people we want to involve and want to have a say and play a role in that are community members. Both community members who are on social and community members who are not on social. So that's our priority. It's the number one priority for council. We were successful in improving our financial management practices. We've increased our revenues. And one of the main priorities in terms of where are some of these revenues going to go, it's going to go in social. It's going to go into development of social programs to help meet the needs of community members. So, because we realize that, it's not easy as it is right now, and for community members to try to make out with less, isn't going to be very easy at all. So, we're receptive to that. We want to deal and be proactive and come out with programming that sort of meets the needs of community. In addition to the community meeting, we're going to be coming out with a survey, and this will be just specific to social. What we're attempting to get from the survey, and it will work in tandem with the community session, is to find out your thoughts, views, and opinions on appropriate programming that the band should pursue to allow, things to function a little better as it relates to people who are currently on social. So we're open to ideas, and I'm looking and hoping that you would help us in this endeavor, in this project.